And our final presentation is Building Your Digital Weeding Toolkit, Technical Services Workflow Strategies for Deselection. This is presented by Lily Susman, Allison Ransom, Lisa Finder, and Jennifer Newman from Hunter College Libraries. Lily is, excuse me, Lily is the Collections and Acquisitions Librarian and an assistant professor at CUNY Hunter College in New York City. She holds an MSLIS from the Pratt Institute School of Information and an MA in East Asian Studies from Stanford University. Allison is the Metadata and Discovery Librarian at CUNY Hunter College and holds a BA from Goucher College, an MA from CUNY Hunter College, and an MLIS from San Jose State University. Her research focuses on metadata usability and sharing, project management, and innovations to bibliographic description. Lisa is the Electronic Resources Librarian at CUNY Hunter College. She has a BA from Wesleyan University, an MLIS from Columbia University, and an MA from CUNY Graduate Center. Before working at Hunter, she was the Serials Librarian at New York Public Library's Schomburg Center for Research in Black Culture. And finally, Jennifer is the English and Humanities Librarian, Assistant Professor rank at Hunter College CUNY. She holds an MLIS from the Palmer School at Long Island University and an MA and PhD in Italian from NYU. Thank you very much for being here. I'm excited to see your presentation, so I'm going to stop my share right now. And whenever y'all are ready, feel free to begin.
Thank you so much. Hello, everybody. Okay, welcome to Building Your Digital Weeding Toolkit, Technical Services Workflow Strategies for Deselection. This presentation is by Lily Susman, Allison Ransom, Jennifer Newman, and Lisa Finder, all from CUNY Hunter College in New York. Introduction. This presentation provides an overview of technology-based tools and their applications for deselection projects. Our recommendations are based on recent experiences implementing a large-scale deselection project at the Hunter College Libraries from scratch. This project resulted from a charge to the library's Collection, Curation, and Development Committee from the Dean of Libraries. The project ran from April 15th to August 15th, 2025, but the workflow established during the project has become routine practice that librarians are now expected to continue. At its outset, the project was a significant undertaking for our staff, since there had been no organized weeding project at Hunter's main library in recent memory, and deselection was not emphasized in the library collection development culture. At the time of the project's charge, the libraries had recently undergone leadership and staffing changes. We welcomed a new Dean of Libraries in the fall of 2024, after having interim deans since 2020. Further, our head of collections management, who supervised all of technical services apart from cataloging, retired in 2020. That same year, CUNY switched its ILS from Aleph to Alma and also moved the responsibility for creating and running collection reports from CUNY's centralized Office of Library Services to local campus libraries. In fall 2024, Hunter also gained 2 new technical services librarians, a collections and acquisition librarian and a metadata and discovery librarian, excuse me. Due to the adoption of Alma since the retirement of their predecessors, they did not inherit any workflows for creating and running reports. So how can our experience help you? This presentation illustrates how you can use both software that is freely available and software that is commonly licensed by academic libraries to support weeding projects and workflows at your library. Our experience may be particularly useful to those at CUNY and SUNY libraries, which use most of the same software. So we'll start with education and communications tools. LibGuides and other LibApp platforms can host a centralized hub of project documentation and guidance. At Hunter, where there was a lack of recent experience with deselection, we decided to use an internal LibGuide to share policies, procedures, tutorials, and updates with library personnel. Within this LibGuide, we integrated LibAnswers FAQ to collect commonly asked questions and responses. Video tutorials were conveniently recorded through Zoom's screen recording function and embedded into LibGuides after being uploaded to YouTube. We created project-specific screen share tutorials on topics such as how to complete and submit barcode withdrawal templates and how to read the custom reports furnished to help deselection decisions. Education, communication, and morale are enhanced through playful design and engagement. To spread the word about our weeding LibGuide, we created 1-inch pins with punny slogans like, "What are you weeding?" and "Good weeds," that accompanied a QR code to the LibGuide. We crafted our button designs using the limited free-to-use version of the Canva software and produced the pins with a 1-inch button maker already owned by our library, purchased from American Button Machines. Many colleagues pinned the buttons to their work ID lanyards.
Next, I'll be speaking about process tools. Microsoft Teams can be used to establish digital infrastructure with existing resources. Collaborative online working environments centralize the storage, collection, and retrieval of project files. At Hunter, Microsoft Teams is widely adopted across the library and was therefore a natural choice for a central repository. The Weeding 2025 folder pictured on the slides complements the LibGuide and contains resources such as overlap and duplicate reports, MP4 recordings of video tutorials, the newsletter archive, and monthly snapshots of withdrawn data. Since everyone at the library can access these files, certain folders have read-only restrictions to prevent colleagues from accidentally making edits on master copies of reports. I'd like to draw your attention to folder number 3, Barcodes to Delete. This folder is the site of transfer between the selector librarians and technical services librarians. Excel spreadsheets with barcodes to be withdrawn from the catalog are deposited in the folder titled Barcodes to Delete. Once downloaded and processed by technical services, the spreadsheets from the previous withdrawal period are removed from this folder, refreshing it for the next month. We recommend implementing the workflow with a regular due date for barcodes, as this establishes a schedule for librarians engaged in weeding and in technical services. Microsoft Excel can be used to create a barcode withdrawal template spreadsheet. The implementation of this barcode withdrawal template standardizes weeding data and its format. The Hunter template asks for 5 data points: barcode, reason for withdrawal, withdrawal date, LC class letter, and selector name. Instructions on tab 2 include an FAQ and provide instructions on saving and submitting the template with a specific naming convention. Reason for withdrawal, a critical data point for this project, is selected from a drop-down menu of 5 options. These criteria represent a local adaptation of the well-known musty factors that more accurately reflect the realities of our collection and our deselection rationales. Note, only one option can be selected, meaning that librarians must make a subjective decision and choose their primary reason for withdrawal for items that meet multiple criteria. All of these fields described can be customized to your library's needs and circumstances. Collect, edit, and report data about weeded collections using your institution's instance of ExLibris Alma. Capabilities within Alma are powerful for maintaining and managing data describing withdrawn materials, in addition to creating reference resources for selector librarians. Item record statistics notes can be edited before the items are withdrawn to preserve data about their withdrawal status and reason for withdrawal. This allows data about weeded collections to be queried in analytics after item deletion. Analytics preserves data for withdrawn items for 30 years, so improving deleted item data aligns with analytics' strong reporting capabilities to yield more substantive results. After subject selectors submit their barcode withdrawal template to the appropriate folder within the Teams file structure, technical services librarians download them and compile separate spreadsheets of barcodes for each reason for withdrawal: currency, relevancy, print duplication, electronic duplication, and condition. Those spreadsheets are used to make an itemized set or list in Alma for each withdrawal reason. For each set, we then run change physical items information job to change the statistics note 1 field to withdrawn and the statistics note 2 field to the withdrawal reason. In the featured example, the reason is currency. With the item data edited, we then run a withdraw physical items job on the set to withdraw the items from Alma. This job deletes the item records, which has the potential to leave related holdings and bibliographic records orphaned. To mitigate this, when the job prompts how to handle holdings without items and bibliographic records, we select the second option, delete holdings, delete bibliographic records that have no other holdings. This option keeps additional holdings, such as duplicates, in the catalog, but removes bibliographic records from the institution zone and network zone when appropriate.
Prompt an AI chatbot such as Claude AI to generate a data organization tool. AI chatbots are adept at creating tools that can help simplify technical services workflows and are customizable for individual use cases. Recently, using Claude AI, we created a CSV file converter that supports the process of bulk editing the statistics note to reason for withdrawal. As described earlier in this presentation, sets of barcodes corresponding to a shared reason for withdrawal are uploaded into Alma, and previously these sets were created manually. Using this converter tool, we can now upload completed withdrawal templates with multiple reasons for withdrawal indicated. The tool essentially amalgamates and collates all the barcodes and withdrawal reasons, then outputs up to 5 CSV files with barcodes categorized by reason for withdrawal. These CSV files are formatted to be directly ingested into Alma to create sets for bulk item record editing and withdrawal. This idea was inspired by a similar tool shared by Julia Fury at Kingsborough Community College at a CUNY OLS working group meeting and adapted to this particular need for Hunter's withdrawal note use case. Reports produced in Alma Analytics are key resources for weeding decision-making and are essential for tracking project results. Before the project commenced, technical services provided several spreadsheet reports organized by LC class to subject selectors. A general shelf list, print duplication, and electronic overlap reports are located in the team's file structure for their reference. These reports were modified from the CUNY-wide community zone and the Alma-wide community repository. A new deleted records report reflects what is withdrawn from the collection. During the project, this report was scheduled to automatically run each month and was sent to key stakeholders. Fields within this deleted records report were chosen from the physical item subject area in Alma Analytics. They were also edited to reflect changes made to the statistics notes within the item records of each withdrawn item. The statistics notes for each withdrawn item had been updated by way of the batch jobs described previously. These notes then needed custom column headings in the deleted barcodes report, which were changed to withdrawal status rather than statistics note 1 and reason for withdrawal instead of statistics note 2. Create an interactive data visualization using Tableau Public. Interactive data visualization with weeding data supports ongoing project tracking, collection, shift planning, and conversations with university administrators. These visualizations transform tabular spreadsheet-based data into more meaningful, digestible, and readily shareable information. Given existing familiarity and its free cost, Tableau Public is utilized at Hunter for this weeding project. Microsoft BI and the built-in Alma Analytics data visualization function may also be viable options at your institution. For our library's needs, the following fields were particularly valuable for project tracking and reporting purposes. LC class and subclass are metrics used for identifying well-weeded and under-weeded areas in the collection. Library and collection name helped track project progress by library branch. The date of withdrawal measured the project progress by month, the reason for withdrawal assessed the state of the collection, and the publication date reflected the collection's age. Conclusion and continued experimentation. The groundwork laid during the summer 2025 Weeding project supports the continuation and growth of weeding in the Hunter College Library's collections. Tools used for communication and education, including LibApps, Zoom, YouTube, and Canva, help document the weeding procedure and provide training and incentives to library personnel. Tools for supporting the workflow, such as Microsoft Excel and Teams and ExLibris Alma, provided the crucial infrastructure for collecting, editing, and reporting information about the weeded collections, and Tableau helped articulate how the data changed over time in a visually appealing way. Without these tools, we wouldn't have been able to create the workflow or streamline education about it. This toolkit was beneficial and critical for this project and led us to consider additional tools to add for the continuation of it. One example of a development is the creation of an interactive and queryable knowledge graph explorer that visualizes data about weeded items from the library's collections. This database is a prototype at the moment, but it is currently in development to serve as a publicly available resource for library personnel, other CUNY libraries, and any other parties who may be interested in what has been weeded from Hunter's collections. Given the fact that Primo or OneSearch, the public user interface of Alma, does not display data about weeded collections, although Alma Analytics can be queried for data about withdrawn items internally, this database could be a beneficial workaround for users to be able to access this data publicly without having access to our institution's instance of Alma Analytics. This knowledge graph prototype was created by transforming MARC data, which was exported as a CSV file from Alma, into a TTL file, which is the file format and syntax used to make RDF data or semantic data. The TTL file was then used to create a searchable and relational visualization of weeded data. We welcome your questions during the Q&A or over email after this conference. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much for that presentation. That was really great. Just another in a series of really wonderful and interesting presentations today. So thank you all for that and for being here. And if anyone has any questions for our presenters, please use the Q&A to ask them. And we have several there already, and I'm going to start asking them. Our first question, what criteria was used for weeding in the past? Will it change based on these patterns? Would you need to be stricter in removing material in one area and less in another?
I can take that question. So in the past, since some of my co-presenters are new to Hunter, in the past, we didn't really have defined criteria for withdrawal. It was really kind of left up to the selectors, and we weren't tracking the reasons for withdrawal. So we used, in general, the guidance of the musty factors, but individual decisions were not recorded. And the question of would we need to be stricter in removing material in one area and less in another? I mean, I think that's true at our library selectors in the sciences, for instance, are much stricter on currency than I am, for example, in humanities projects.
Okay, our next question, how many staff are responsible for weeding overall?
Can take that one. We have so Hunter College Libraries comprises 4 branches. So basically staff at each branch faculty and staff at each branch were responsible for contributing to the weeding project. So probably, led by the main subject librarian who may have had like college assistants under them. Basically, it was a library-wide initiative. I don't have an exact number, but definitely I would say more than 30 people were employed to do this. And we were tasked with doing it over the summer, a traditionally slower month or slower part of the year. So people who were available to, or people who were not taking vacation or any type of leave, pretty much devoted their summers to like being hands-on with this project.
Okay, thanks. It looks like there might be a follow-up from the same person. How many physical items were you working with?
The print collection is roughly, or at the beginning of the project, 500,000 items at the main branch, which is where much of the weeding was focused. And during the project's 3 months, we removed about 23,000 items, but we're continuing to weed throughout the academic year, particularly during break sessions.
All right, thank you. Uh, Next question. Was the reason for withdrawal entered used in some way procedurally? I'm trying to identify why limiting to one primary reason is desirable when a selector could have multiple reasons.
I can answer that. Because we were utilizing the note field within the item record, like the statistics note fields within the item records. And there's in Alma, there's 3 statistics note fields. So statistics note 1 was withdrawn status, so withdrawn. Statistics note 2 was reason for withdrawal. So that was one of the 5 reasons for withdrawal. And then statistics note 3, the last and third statistic note, was in many cases like already populated with some data, so I didn't want to touch it.
Okay, thank you. Next question. I was surprised to hear that Alma Analytics saves things for 30 years. We thought it was, at least for now, indefinite. Do you know where that number is from?
I can answer that again. So at Hunter, so we're part of CUNY, and there's the Office of Library Services, or OLS, that we've referenced a couple times, and they're sort of like the overlords of our network consortium of Alma, and that is information that I got from them. And I wonder if that's particular to our network consortium, or I don't know if that's an Alma-wide thing. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe someone else does.
Okay, thank you. Next question. The presentation title had me thinking. Have you done any ebook weeding or similar projects in the similar vein? Or excuse me, I see a follow-up. Weeding slash suppression projects.
I could take this one. We haven't yet. The impetus for this project was really kind of physical space constraints and renovations in the library. So focusing on the physical collection was first. Um, but this is something to think about in the future, doing a digital weed.
Okay. As someone working on a weeding project, you make lists of weeded titles available to all users. Has that ever caused you problems?
I think this is related to the knowledge graph. Allison?
Sorry, can you please repeat the question?
Sure.
I had it cut out.
Let's see. As someone working on a weeding project, you make lists of weeded titles available to all users. Has this ever caused you problems? So I think
Um,
that's, someone is working on a weeding project and they're alarmed that you're making weeded titles available to all users if this is in fact the case and whether that has caused you problems.
I see. So, as I mentioned, the knowledge graph is a prototype that we're developing, and it's not ready yet. So, like, it hasn't been publicly available. I mean, like, I do have a URL for it. You can go to it. I won't give it to you because it's not ready. But we haven't run into that yet. But it is interesting. It is an interesting question. Like, why? Like, is it important to conceal data about weeded collections, or like, is there some value with making the information about it transparent? Sort of tangentially, at Hunter, we also recently created an exhibition about weeding in a sense, like sort of in a way to like create some awareness of the fact that like this weeding did happen. So we're not really trying to conceal the fact that we did weeding. We will be transparent about it. But of course, we do want to be mindful of the messaging that could be that publicizing such an initiative could convey.
All right, thank you. Our next question. How many different selectors were weeding and how many branches were weeded? Sorry if you covered this and I just missed it.
Yeah, so it would have been 3 branches, but most of this was focused on our main branch. Um, and the number of librarians, subject selectors, exactly, I don't know, but it's around a dozen or 15.
Okay. Next question. Do you delete holdings in WorldCat as part of weeding the last volume or copy of a resource in your collection? If so, how does compiling and reporting the data about this to OCLC work?
As far as I'm aware, our instance of Alma has automatically updates holdings in OCLC WorldCat.
Okay, thank you. Next question. What is the musty factor? I may have missed that.
Sure, I'm happy to answer this. This is an acronym that is sometimes used to identify books for reading. It's a bit catchy sounding. The M stands for misleading, U for ugly, meaning mostly poor condition, not any aesthetic judgment passed. S for superseded, T for trivial, I for irrelevant, and E for elsewhere. Instead of using those criteria, we instead used our own, which were 5. I think currency, condition, print duplication, electronic duplication, and relevance, including usage.
All right, thank you. Did you ask librarians to review everything in a collection area, or did you use any criteria to identify a subset of materials, for example, older items by a publication date?
We had physical areas in the collection that required more attention than others, but this was supposed to be a collection-wide weeding project, so we were quite broad in our ask of selectors.
All right. Does budgeting for the library change at all depending on the number of physical volumes that are in the collection?
I can take that one. As far as I know, no.
Okay. How long do you retain withdrawn records in your catalog so you can do these weeding analytics in Alma? As part of a large consortia, our costs with ExLibris are partly based on the number of bib records we have collectively in our consortia. So we're encouraged to delete bibs that we no longer have holdings attached to. When we first migrated, there was a consortia-wide bib reduction effort to maintain our projected/negotiated bib threshold and stay within our ExLibris costs. Our library alone deleted over 20,000 records.
So I can take that. I basically when we delete an item, if there are other holdings attached to the bib record that also have items, if it wasn't the only item attached to a holdings or bib record, then the bib wouldn't be deleted. But if we were deleting or withdrawing an item record that had no other items attached to any other holdings attached to the bib record, then we would delete the bib record. And we did that in a bulk job.
Okay, thank you. This is more of a follow-up to one of the statements mentioned during the presentation. Alma does currently retain withdrawn record information and analytics. However, ExLibris has raised some recent discussions about their ability to continue to remain information for deleted inventory from analytics. Yes, I've seen some chat about this on the listserv, so that's interesting and timely that it should come up in this presentation. And then finally, one last question. Could we reach out if we have questions to these speakers directly?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, and we will be sharing the slides from today's presentations after this conference, and that actually wraps up our conference. This is the last presentation of the day. So I'd like to thank all of you for your presentation. This was really, really excellent. And I would like to thank all of today's presenters. The day really has flown by for me. It's been such a great collection of presentations, and I'm just really grateful to all of you who shared your time and put a lot of thought into these presentations. So I know I can speak on behalf of the Midwinter Committee that we're all really grateful that you could join us and share your knowledge with us. Again, we will be posting the recordings from today, as well as the slides from today, as well as answers to any unasked questions from today. They'll all be posted on our conference website. I'm going to drop that link into the chat right now, so you can either bookmark it and go back to it, but also, since you have registered for today's conference, I assume everyone who registered will get an email coming to that email address once everything has been posted on the website. I imagine it'll take probably somewhere between 2 and 4 weeks, so just bear with us while we get all of that up on our website, and we will keep you posted. I would also now like to thank our conference team again. I'm going to share my screen so I can put those names up, and just to thank everyone on the committee. Am I sharing this screen? Can you all see this? Thank you. Yeah, great. Let me put it in presenter view. All right, I would really like to shout out the rest of the team. Kate Brent, who's our chair, and from SUNY Cobleskill Ag and Tech. I'm Jill Locascio from the SUNY College of Optometry. Carrie Martin from Purchase College, Jessica McGivney from Farmingdale State College, and Fred Stoss from the University at Buffalo. So I would like to thank all of my fellow committee members for their hard work in putting this conference together. I'd also like to give one final plug for our annual conference. That is the SUNY Law Annual Conference. It's an in-person conference, and this year it is going to be held at SUNY Brockport. It will be held on June 16th through the 18th, and they're currently accepting proposals. I'm also going to post the link to that in the chat momentarily, and we get so many excellent proposals for this conference, and a lot of the proposals that we didn't get a chance to present today would be really good for the conference at Brockport, because the theme this year for that conference is Currents of Change, Navigating Librarianship in a Rapidly Evolving World. So if you submitted a proposal for this conference but didn't present today, I highly encourage you to submit a proposal for our annual conference. And even if you didn't submit a proposal, we encourage you to submit a proposal. So if you go to that, we look forward to seeing you there. And then finally, I would just like to thank everyone who attended today's conference. Everyone was just really engaged. I think the chat has been more active than I've ever seen it. And I think there's been more questions asked today than there ever have been at any other conferences. So I really appreciate everyone attending this conference and being really engaged. And again, thanks to all of our presenters. It's just so great to hear from and learn from other tech or tech adjacent library workers, and the library community is one I'm certainly proud to be part of, and it's just a real gift to be able to come together and share our knowledge. So thanks again. Have a great weekend, everyone, and we hope to see you next year.